Shalom.
Shalom.
It's the brother Bayan
It's Brother Kalaya.
from the GMS New Orleans camp, here to bring you a quick lesson. Trying to get started, I want to give infinite honors and prayers to
Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shah, Ba'Hashem, Kakwadash.
double honors to the elders and apostles of GMS who taught us the truth. Peace and salutations to the hopefully elect, you Akim, you Akwat, which you brothers and sisters in the Hebrew that believe. All right, and through the Spirit, pray that this lesson is edifying. And prior to this video, Jake has some lessons in the vault, but again through the Spirit, me and the brother was here chopping it up about some things. One of the lessons that I actually had titled, and just wanted to get it on wax, and it's dealing on one of the biggest things in the scriptures, which is the brotherhood, man. All right, and the brotherhood being a tool, the brotherhood being something major, that the Lord requires us to build and grow stronger, alongside with our faith, within our faith and trust into Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. All right, we already know, roughly paraphrasing the scripture in Matthew, when it asks, what is the most important laws? And Yahweh Shai replied, first and foremost, having faith into Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, and then secondly was being a brother to your brother, and that those are one of the two most important things. And the reason being is, again, it helps, to have help in the midst of bullshit, and through the things that we have to go through on a daily that majority of the world don't understand at all. To have a brother that's like-minded with you, fighting the same battle with you, and just being on the understanding on the same level, it helps, to keeps pushing you forward. All right.
I can say one thing.
Yeah, you got it.
And it's crazy that you put it that way, because I had a lesson, which I ain't put no precepts to it yet, but it's basically the same thing. We all we got.
Mm-hmm.
All right. In this world of sin, vanity, and wickedness, we all we have, all right? And of course that includes Yahweh Shai, right? But yeah, we love our families, different friends, acquaintances, shit like that. But none of them will truly understand what it means. Well, what this ministry means.
All right.
But you got it out.
Yeah, that's that saying, us against the world.
Literally.
Right? And it's literally, true.
God.
It goes down to many deep levels, man, and of cherishing the brotherhood, and Jake is, I'm not gonna say all men, but most men are genetically, already wired with usually being with the brother. That's why men typically join sports, whatever band or any type of community, frat, yeah, where some type of community where it's men that's like-minded, But in a sense here, we're supposed to be like-minded as Israelite men, as you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, who's been called and chosen by Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai to push his word. We're all supposed to be like-minded when it comes to the law, statutes, and commandments, all right, and how to deal and how to rule, righteously, But there was something else I wanted to say. Slipped my mind, but let me kick it off, set the table with Psalms 133:1. It says, "Behold, how good and how pleasant is it for brethren to dwell together in unity." Okay, and it's the most pleasant thing that you could ever experience, man. All right, here in this hellhole, man. Like, that's our what I like to say, glimpse of the kingdom. That's our peace that we could get in the middle of a spiritual war that's going on. All right, being around men and finally being able to lay your hair down. That saying that they say in the world. But many people again don't understand it on our levels. Back on what I just said about us against the world. They don't understand the troubles that Jake, truly goes through, with the understanding, I believe it's King Solomon mentions that, with much wisdom, sorrow, You know, we get more sorrow the more wisdom that we get, you know, just understanding what the hell is going on around us. All right. And it's nothing that too many people in the world can say to us to comfort us, you know, that we already don't know, or whatever comes out of their mouth. It's like, yeah, bro, I know that's not the solution at all. Like, but when you're around a righteous man, when you're around a brother gonna whip out the scriptures. Hey, the Lord said this, boom, boom, boom. And that's gonna get you back on track. It's like, oh, the Lord said that. All right. And it's coming from a brother that I believe in, you know, boom, boom, boom. And that's how everything, you know, is more fluid, you know, for you to keep pushing, you know.
I got a precept for you.
You got it.
This did you have this Sirach 6 and 14?
Yep. You can bring
You
it
want
up.
me to wait?
You could
It's up to you.
Yeah. Bring it out.
Con, this Sirach 6 and 14, it says, a faithful friend is a strong defense, and he that hath found such a one hath found a treasure.
Yeah.
Nothing doth countervail a faithful friend, and his excellency is invaluable. And I wanted to say this on that first, I do have two more lines in it, but I wanted to say this on that first part. It says, a faithful friend is a strong defense. All right, because as we go through the trials and tribulations in which it takes for us to, you know, be refined, right? It's refreshing to be able to call a brother, like we just did before, you know, this video, and talk about things that bother us, all right? Instead of going off of human emotions and reacting, okay? Actually, you know, man, I urge brothers to call other brothers when you in a sticky situation, or before a sticky situation, you know, when demons are plaguing you, right? When you just, you know, you got this one motherfucker at the job, you know, take your moment and you talk to a brother. Of course, not for everything, all right? But for things in which that can lead you down a spiral of, you know, into a valley, so to say, you should definitely call and you know, receive counsel from a brother, because it's required of us, all right, to be truthful, right? And to do our job as a brother, man. You want to say something on that?
You could read that first part again.
It says, a faithful friend is a strong defense, and he that hath found such a one hath found a treasure.
So if you found the treasure, you know, it's not too many treasures out there in the world. You know, so that's how you need to treasure, you know, having a brother. You know, that has to be something held close to your heart. You know, because again, it's not too many. It's more wickedness in this world than it is, you know, righteousness. You know, just how the way that the Lord set everything up, man. We are a small number of, you know, we're the only light in a land of darkness. You know, so if you find that, you know, in which it furthermore goes on towards like the end of that chapter in chapter 6, when it talks about weighing the doorsteps. Yeah. But yeah, you could keep going on.
It's verse 16. Sirach 6 and 16. It says, a faithful friend is the medicine of life, and they that fear the Lord shall find him. You see, and the Lord have given us these friends, man. Shit, Yahushua. You see? And if you want to get on that level, Yahushua is the word, and it tell you that the truth shall make you free. You see, so the Lord has healed us from you know, these different spiritual wounds that this world has given us. You know, different doctrines, different ideologies, you know, things of that nature. Jake was living raw and wild, you know, but the Lord has healed that, man.
Yeah.
And he's coming to heal us physically, you know, with the new bodies. You got it.
Yeah, again, just back you up with that point, you know, us being sick, you know, earlier before, you know, coming into this truth.
That's right.
Again, the guidance around us wasn't correct at all. You know, the teachers that we had wasn't teaching us the things that we needed to know that would help to our salvation, you know. Let alone even tell us that we had a crown that was on the line.
Right.
You know, none of these things came to mind, you know, when we were sick. You know, so that's how being around a brother that has this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, being around a teacher that has this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, it could be medicine, you know, towards you to heal you up, you know, to get rid of that old man, get rid of those old thoughts and fix your mind, you know, on the same level as his, and along with the other, the hopeful elect, you know, to receive the rewards, you know.
That's right. Got a little bit more. Oh, I wanted to say this too, because it says, and they that fear the Lord shall find him. You know, and, you know, going into the different advice and shit like that Jake may receive from the world, it compares nothing to this spiritual advice, you know, in its truth, man. All right, and you will only receive that by way of fearing the Lord.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Just no, this man, this is golden nuggets. This is treasure, you know? And we're getting pieces of treasure, gems, jewels from holy men. You know?
Yeah, if I could add to you too, because again, and that's why, and it's gonna come out in that Ecclesiastes, but you know, being around brothers, man, it helps you push through things that you normally wouldn't by yourself. You know, having that push behind you. And I was watching, you know, one of those videos with them niggas in New York, the Diamond League gym.
Yeah.
He'd be up in there going crazy.
Yeah.
And one of the guys that, it was a dude, that Larry Wills, another fitness dude. He basically told them, he was like, yeah, just to be around this community, it pushes me more, because if I was in a gym by myself, I wouldn't do half of these things. I would half-ass. I would skip this because I don't feel like doing it. But when you got around, you know, men that's in there constantly telling you, like, man, go, you got this shit. You know, that gives you the motivation to keep on pushing. You know?
It's beautiful you say that, because that lines up with what I'm about to say lines up with what I was just saying about the spiritual brotherhood. The spiritual, you know, really we the body. You know, they have a body there, but it's not. It's a carnal body.
Right.
And guess what? That body has broken up. I don't know if you're aware, but one of the main reasons why I used to watch those guys, you know, that guy he's no longer there.
Right.
You know, and that's the beauty about this thing. We have morals, principles, laws, okay, which keeps us intertwined. All right. But to finish it out, this back in Sirach 6:17, it says, whoso feareth the Lord shall direct his friendship aright. For as he is, so shall his neighbor be also. And hey, that's just more ammo, man. All right, to what I just said. All right, it's a commandment. All right, to you know, align our friendships aright. You see, that's a commandment. You know. Hey, brothers, it's a common thing we say in Great Millstone. We treat brothers as if he was Yahushua.
Right.
You know, no matter who that brother is, you should treat that brother as Yahushua, because Yahushua see it as that. Right. I can't pinpoint it right now, but when Yahushua was like, when I was sick, you know, you tended to me. When I was cold, you warmed me. You know, when I was hungry, you fed me. And he said, we might have to get that, bro.
Yeah, it was like, Lord, we've never done none of these things.
Right.
You know, basically saying in a sense that, man, whatever you've been doing to your brothers, man, you've been doing to me. You know.
And I don't want to hold you up, because we basically, you know, quoted it.
Yeah. I mean.
But yeah, that's all I wanted to say, and that's why we treat each other as Yahushua, man. And you have to humble yourself and remember that, because just because, you know, a brother may not be your, how could I say, you might not deal with him like in the world, right? But he's still a brother that's in his ministry, and you have to deal with him as such, man. You don't have to like every brother, but you have to love every brother, you know. But you got it.
You could get that. You have more than that.
That was it.
You could get that Ecclesiastes for me, Bobby. Sure.
Come. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 9. In verse, chapter 4 in verse 9, and it reads, it says, two are better than one, because they have a good reward for their labor. For if they fall, the one will lift up his fellow, But woe to him that is alone when he falleth, for he hath not another to help him up.
No, you can stop right there, because again, so we have two brothers, man. All right, if one was to fall, the other one is there to pick him up. You know, we got old video games. I remember when that game first came out, Army of Two.
Oh yeah,
and that was the first time I ever seen the concept of somebody being able to, you could drag that dude while he's shooting and running away. But just something just came in my mind when I think about two brothers. But again, those situations, picking your brother up, it doesn't have to be physical. It could be, on a spiritual level. It could be on a speaking level, to motivate you to keep going. All right, just like we was talking about with that video with the Elder Ariala, just lifting somebody up with the walks that you did in your life could help, brother. All right, to know to tell a brother of the things that you overcame, and you can see a similar situation dealing with you, and a brother explaining that to you can boost your spirit of like, man, I'm not the only one that dealt with this. And you got a big brother on top of that, a older brother that's been in this thing 20 plus years or whatever, telling you, hey, bro, I did that probably 20 years ago and I got past it. I'm telling you what to do, and I believe that you can get past it. That's motivation in itself, man.
Yeah, he's basically knocking off half the battle. Mm-hmm. The other half is you just pretty much, in that particular video, he was going into drinking, you see, and he basically gave you the cheat code. Mm-hmm. Take this shortcut, because the long route you may not survive that route.
Right.
You may not survive that route.
Yeah.
And in the times we in, we don't have time to take 20 years, right, of practice. Right. That's what that took. 20 years of practice to reach the lesson that he was trying to give. Mm-hmm. And I'm pretty sure he tried in his particular case, in segments of his walk, but it was time now for him to get it, and it took 20 years just for he can give it to brothers who just coming in to get it, within a couple months, maybe, however long we have here in Babylon the Great. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's 20 years worth of game.
Right.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
That's heavy.
Yeah, that's the equivalent of, like I said, the elders and apostles actually going to the libraries to get books to read these things. Whereas to a point now that all we got to do is go on the internet and click the link. And we get everything that they didn't got in about 10, 20 years. That's all on this one page right here in the summary. 30
and 40 years.
Right.
Yeah. For free.
Yeah.
You don't have to go to no class. You don't have to, and as far as dealing with the drinking, Jake don't have to go to no damn rehab, betting, whatever the case may be. And I'm just throwing some things out there, all right, because these are very real things that, Jake may or may not be going through.
Right.
But you getting all of these things for free, and then you got the spirit working with you.
Right. Yeah.
You just got to apply yourself.
Yeah.
You speaking of myself first and foremost, man.
Yeah.
I resonated with that video so heavy, but you got it. I don't want to keep rambling.
Nah, you good. That's the spirit, bro, because it's rolling right now. Because when those situations come, that's when you have to get to the understanding of you believing that your brother is a man of the Lord.
That's
also.
Right. That's right.
So if you believing that your brother is of a man of the Lord also, and what it tells you, if two and more are gathered, I am near.
That's right.
You have to know that, man, this is the Lord talking to me. So if the Lord is talking to me in these situations and he's giving me game on what I need to do to overcome my battles, to do these things, it'll be dumb of me not to listen. All right? You can't just sit here and just take the matter of like, man, no, I don't got a problem. I got this. I can fix this. I don't need your words. It's like, nah, the Lord is using your brother to put that right there in front of you to let you know, like, brother, you need to correct yourself. You need to do this. This is how you do it. And, take these words and run with it. But
I got a little bit more. It says, back in Ecclesiastes 4 in verse 11, it says, again, if two lie together, then they have heat. But how can one be warm alone? Mm-hmm. And if one prevail against him, two shall withstand him. And a threefold cord is not quickly broken.
So we got right there, all in a sense. We got if a brother was to fall, you know, if you have a brother to pick you up, you good. If you don't have a brother, you just gonna be on the ground. You're never gonna get up. All right. And then it tells you again. What was the second one? Talk about if it's cold.
Yeah, it said, and if two, verse 11, and if two lie together, then they shall have heat. But how can one be warm alone?
What they say is it's a cold world out here. All right, it's a cold world, and it's nothing that really anything other than Yahweh Bashim al-Shad, the scriptures and the brotherhood that can keep you warm, that can keep you comfortable. You know, this is the Lord is the comforter. You know, the words is the comforter. All right, and that's what's going to keep us warm. You know, throughout these, again, through the bullshit that we have to deal with until the Lord returns, man. All right, and what was the last one?
Oh, it said, and a threefold cord is not quickly broken.
Mm-hmm.
And really that's going into, like rope, okay? One single strand of rope can easily be cut.
Yep.
But if it's intertwined with multiple ropes, right, it's harder to cut.
Yeah.
You know, and that's referring to you and a brother, man.
Yeah. And you know, in another sense of what it's saying is basically just strength in numbers.
That's right.
You know, you have the strength in numbers. So that's the importance of the brotherhood, man. You got anything else?
No, that was it.
If not, I got one more, the oldie but goodie. You know, the end of the all.
Get it? Oh, you got it.
I got it right here.
Come.
This is Proverbs 27:17. Iron sharpened iron, so a man sharpen the countenance of his friend. All right, so we just trying to make sure, you know, a requirement of a brother is to make sure that his brother is sharp, you know. So if we walk in a battle together, what they tell you, you only as strong as your weakest link, you know. And we damn sure not trying to walk around this thing with no type of weak links, you know. But we're trying to keep all our brothers sharpened up and keep ourselves sharpened, you know. So that goes with getting rebuked or receiving information from a brother. You know, also while giving, you know, we're not trying to hide, you know, the traumas and troubles that we went through, and brothers are not trying to hide that from us, you know, as long as this is a two-way street, you know, of information that's constantly flowing, that ultimately just helps us grow at the end, you know. And again, that's another reason, you know, why you could just look through the scriptures and see why the Lord, you know, tells us to cherish, you know, the brotherhood, you know, while we can. You know,
I got one more. I just have found this one. This in Proverbs 27, same chapter, but verse 9. It says, ointment and perfume rejoice the heart, so that the sweetness of a man's friend by hearty counsel. You know, and just going into the more blissful things, right? Ointments and perfumes, okay? When you smell a sweet smelling perfume, when you smell a lady pass you on the street, and or your woman, right? And that perfume, you know, you smell it, man. It puts you in a you be like, damn, that shit smell good.
Yeah,
you know,
it'll hook you.
Yeah,
you know, it's like where that's coming from.
Jay turning a Pepe Le Pew, floating through the scent, you know. And it says, the counsel of a friend, right, is pretty much likened unto that. You know, it's a sweet savior. I know it, man. When you getting counsel from a brother and you really understanding, because you have to understand what this brother is telling you. It really resonate with you, because it's like, damn, this brother cares so much about me that he thought about telling me this.
Right.
You know, because a lot of people will just, and I just seen Khabib do a short snippet on Instagram talking about that, you know, loyalty and things of that nature. But a true friend he gonna tell you, you know, what you need to hear, not what you want to hear.
Oh, shit.
You know, we all want to hear sweet things, right? But sometimes the more sweet thing is actually the bitter.
Right.
It's sweeter to the heart. All right. Sweet things are sweet unto the ears. All right, but you know, more rough things when it come down to rebuke is sweet unto your heart, man.
Yeah.
You got it.
one more. This is St. Matthew chapter 18 and 15. Red letters Yahweh Shah speaking. Moreover, if thy brother tell, it's like it. Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone. If he shall hear thee, thou hast gained thy brother. You know, and that's just dealing with, you know, if it's a personal, you know, altercation that you might have with your brother, or just in a sense, you know, one thing that we have to do, again, that the Lord requires us, you know, get an example from that, is that we have to speak to each other, you know, dealing with situations. All right. And if your brother is going to listen to you and hearken to your words, you have gained a brother. And it further goes down to tell you, if you don't, you know, then you need to get more men involved. And if not, that man got to get away. You know, that's not what brothers do. Okay. But that was good for you.
Yeah, that was it. That was it.
Gone. So I pray that this lesson was edifying. Praying to God here, want to give infinite honors and prayers to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Kakodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of GMS who taught us the truth, peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. You Akim, you Aquat with you brothers and sisters in the Hebrew that believe. Shalom.
Shalom.